I mean, for
Okay, okay.
okay.
I'll kick you out,
Yeah.
but you should go and ask. They've got plenty of staff there. Oh, look, so okay.
And maybe at first I will say that hello everybody,
Okay,
welcome to watch.
if you want, good.
Or you do that or me to say that.
Okay, I'm very happy to introduce you.
Okay, maybe I will say that welcome to watch the FIDE Women's World Championship.
FIDE.
FIDE, sorry.
Yeah.
FIDE Women's World Chess Championship match. I'm Zhang Xiaowen, and then yes.
Yes.
Then,
Nigel Schultz. Yeah.
Yes, and maybe you can introduce someone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Mm.
FIDE.
FIDE, okay.
Yeah. FIDE Women's World Chess Championship.
FIDE. Should I say that China Mobile?
No.
No, no China Mobile.
No.
Okay.
No. Seriously.
Okay, okay.
Yeah. Hi.
Just
How are things?
just the 2020
Yeah.
FIDE Women's World Chess
Yeah.
Championship match.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
There is actually a big uh, there is a big problem actually. So you shouldn't say China Mobile.
I shouldn't or
It should not.
should not. Okay, okay.
Yeah, yeah. There is a big. Yeah. Okay.
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 Yes. Okay.
Hello everyone. Welcome to watch 2020 FIDE Women's World Chess Championship match. I'm Zhang Xiaowen.
Yeah. And I'm Nigel Short, and welcome everybody. I'd like to say very special thanks to Zhao Wen, who has stepped in and is doing something extremely brave, because she was expecting to be doing the commentary in Chinese. Is that
Yeah.
right? So,
Yes.
anyway, I hope this will work out well. Um, and delighted to welcome all the viewers from around the world to what promises to be a very interesting World Championship match between the defending champion, Ju Wenjun, and Alexandra, the challenger Alexandra Goryachkina from Russia. So, so tell me, what is your prediction? Who do you think is likely to win the match? What do you feel?
I think both of them are very strong, so it's hard to say that. But because Zhu Wenjun is Chinese, so
and you're Chinese, and she is your favorite. Yeah.
Yes, I hope.
Yeah, and there is another interesting thing. I mean, I think one of the first things we should look at is the previous scores.
Oh, yeah.
And the previous games that the two of them have had, and I believe, Xiaowen, that you've studied this, and what are the scores? Who is ahead?
Yes. In the past they didn't play too much games. Only 7 times before.
Right.
And almost them are rapid or blitz.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And the score, as far as I'm aware, is good for the reigning champion, Ju Wenjun.
Yes.
So she is what? +3. She has won three games. Is that correct? 2 of them in rapid, and 1 in blitz.
Yeah. Actually, Ju won 3 more games in rapid and blitz. Yeah, but they just played 1 standard game.
Yeah. And that was not very long ago. That was last year,
yes,
wasn't
last
it?
year.
Yeah. And in fact, I had a look at the game earlier this morning, and Ju Wenjun was winning that game as well. She was winning, in fact, with a very, very easy promotion in the end game. She was winning.
I remember she was 1 pawn up.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. It was rook and pawn against rook. Now, I believe we are just about to start. They've just shaken hands, and we have the first move, which for some reason we cannot see.
Yeah, so maybe later.
So I don't know what has happened.
Maybe because it's for safe. You know that.
So this is the yes, finally. Yes, our technician has finally leapt into action.
Yeah. The first move is d4.
Yeah. Knight f6.
Yeah. And c4.
Okay.
I guess Drew maybe will play e6.
Yes, so she is normally playing what? She plays the Nimzo Indian defense or Queen's Gambit?
Maybe Queen's Gambit.
Yeah,
I
Queen's
think.
Gambit. Yeah, she likes.
Oh yes, she did it e6.
Yeah.
Oh, and knight f3.
Mm-hmm. So maybe you can also tell me something about the helpers of the players, the seconds, as we call them. Who has Ju Wenjun been working with?
I think it's I don't know if I can say that. I don't know, but I think maybe someone will help him as a exit.
Well, I've seen Ni Hua. So
Actually.
this is no secret. He is
Yes, yes.
he is around. So you don't need this is not a Chinese state secret. Maybe there are some other people
Yeah, maybe other people.
as well,
Yeah.
but officially, openly,
Ni Hua.
Ni Hua,
We all know that.
who is of course very experienced and strong grandmaster,
Yes.
and yeah, and Goryachkin has come with a team
Yes.
of 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 players. Konstantin Lander is there.
Yeah, Lander or
Rublevsky. Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, that's right. So anyway, they've come with strong strong players.
Yes. Okay. And here he played the d5, knight c3, and bishop e7.
Yeah. So a regular Queen's Gambit. Queen's Gambit declined.
Yes. Okay, I think maybe it's a surprise because as I know, maybe Zhu will play more at bishop b4.
Four. Yeah.
Yes. Or maybe c5.
Also.
What?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
So bishop e7 is not. He's always.
Yeah.
to-
Okay. So that is actually quite typical. You would expect there to be some small surprises in a world championship match. That
Yeah.
People don't want to stay with exactly the same repertoire. Because if you have this, keep the same repertoire, you are a sitting target. It means your opponent can use their engines
Yeah.
and prepare
Yeah.
hard against you. So we have a little pause here. So it's obviously come as a small surprise
Yes.
to Goryachkin. Obviously, this is not the first time in her life
Yeah.
she played this position. She's not thinking about what is this position. She's thinking, what am I going to do
Yes.
against this opponent
Yes.
during
and maybe
this?
she is thinking, what's your prepare?
Yeah, exactly, exactly. Yeah,
Yes.
what's
So now she is thinking.
she's gone for so a Catalan.
G3.
Yeah, G3. So aiming for a sharp Catalan setup. So these are fashionable variations
Yeah,
these days.
I think G3 is a strong move.
Yeah, and also nowadays, very fashionable was, if we just go back.
Go back. Here?
Bishop f4 has been very popular.
Yes.
Lot of games with that, and of course also the old-fashioned main line many years ago was Bishop g5.
Yes.
That was it used to be the most popular choice, but g3 is a sharp line, and actually offering the c pawn sometimes. Sometimes d takes c4.
Yes.
Okay, we now have another move, bishop g2.
Yeah. To play castle and bishop g2.
Yeah. And d takes c4 is a critical move.
If you capture this, maybe I will play this one. or not?
Yeah, it's possible to do 95 is quite typical. So so she's taken on C4 as I see,
Yeah.
and
Actually, I think this opening will give black some press, maybe.
yeah. Well, this is uh,
Maybe here.
95 is quite
Yes.
sharp, and
Mm,
and you can also castle here. It's another move. It's another possibility.
um, can I show someone? I think it's a little bit different
Yeah.
between the order. For example, in here, if White want to play Catalan,
Yeah.
she will play G3.
That's yeah.
And if you play Bishop E7 and maybe here,
Yeah.
and if castle, and here black can play D,
Yeah.
take capture,
On C4.
and then here is
Yeah,
knight
and this
E5.
is a standard
And
standard line.
here,
Yeah.
and here, if here we play this move, it's a
Slightly.
little bit
Yeah,
different.
it is different.
Yes.
But in fact, 95 is the main move in this position.
Oh yeah, she played this.
And it was played in 574 games, something like that.
Yeah.
And White is scoring well, scoring close to 62%, which is a good score. It's
Yes.
a good percentage.
Yes.
So typically, White could expect to score 55% from having the advantage of the first move. So if you're in a variation where you are scoring 62%,
Yeah.
then it is significant. Statistically, it is significant.
Yeah. So here is a little bit different between in the main line, White is castled, and in this variation,
Yeah.
White not castle, just move knight c3.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
it's the difference
Yeah.
between it.
Yeah, but also there are some other variations that are cut out because Bishop B4 was a possibility earlier on,
Yeah.
and so with this move order, White cuts out some of these possibilities. So C5
Yeah.
has been played.
c5. Yes.
Yep.
And I think maybe black will play capture. Yes.
Sorry, White
White will play capture. Yes.
Yeah. This is the by far the main move in the position D takes C5. In fact, there are
C5,
yeah.
and maybe black will capture the queen D1,
Yeah.
and maybe knight D1, like that.
Yeah.
So I think it's the difference between the
Yeah, this
variations.
is a very hot variation, as they say, and this line has been played. There was a well-known game of Anish Giri's last year, which I saw in this variation. But when Jun is playing confidently, she's playing quickly, isn't she? So she seems to be she seems to know what she's doing.
Yes, I think maybe it's in her.
Oh, I'm sure. I'm
preparation.
sure because
Yeah.
this is still.
Earlier.
Yeah, yeah, still well known. There's a little bit of thinking here.
I think must take it by the night.
Yeah,
Yes. So it's the difference between the variation or the mean line because in the mean line, in the mean line is here,
yeah.
and black will play c5, and in here, oh
No,
sorry.
you
Not
normally
C5.
doesn't play c5. Normally
Normally
knight
knight
c6.
C6.
Correct. Yeah.
So it's the different. Why cannot black play c5?
D takes c5
Because
is
take
yeah,
and if you
yeah.
take here, the rook is
Yeah,
here.
yeah.
So
It's advantageous for white to have the rook on the on the line.
It's
So
better, but in here it's just a 19 d1.
yeah. So it's
So
it's
it's
it's worse. Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Yes.
so it's the difference.
Yeah, that is a key point. So black has to play in a different way,
Oh,
in the
yeah.
in the old let's say main line.
Yeah, so black not play maybe knight c6, just play c5. It's right.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh,
So
attacking.
this is all very heavy theory. We still have a lot of games from this position after bishop c5. We've got more than 100 games
Yeah.
from this position. But now there is a parting of the ways. It's not clear which is the best way for white to play
Yeah.
this position. So there have been different choices. Castles is in fact
Maybe castle.
is the main move,
Yes.
but also a
So
simple move.
maybe just
so
to capture
knights-
the pawn.
Capturing the pawn is it can be played, and in fact it scores reasonably well. Knight takes c4, but there is an advantage to keeping the knight on e5
e5.
because it makes it more difficult for black to develop the on the queen side.
So here it's important in
Yeah.
here.
So maybe one of the key things, maybe you can show the typical Catalan bishop on the
like this.
yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
You know, and if white is better here, if white is better, it is only because of that bishop, which is on an excellent diagonal, a raking diagonal down, pressurizing the black queen side.
Yeah.
So I would not be in a hurry to play knight takes c4, although it is the third most popular choice, and it has been played by some strong players as well, like Radjabov.
Rajabov?
Yeah, he
Yeah.
played knight c4, and Wang and Korchnoi, Victor Korchnoi, the late Victor Korchnoi played that. So, and there are some other little moves here, which maybe you can show. There are some funny little moves like bishop d2 is one interesting
Oh,
move.
bishop d2.
Yeah, it's just, I think white wants to put the rook onto
Oh.
c1 and
And
to attack the pawn
Yeah.
on c4.
Yeah.
So
It's an idea.
yeah, these are the possibilities. In fact, she's gone for absolutely the main line, the most popular choice,
Yeah.
which is castles.
Oh, yes, she played castle.
Yeah.
Okay. I think Do yes actually know what she played
I'm sure she's. I'm
Yes.
sure she's very.
because I remember that Nihua had played this opening.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
But he played when he was white.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. So. Yeah. That's interesting. In fact, as I see here from the database, this position is a very old position. It was even played in when was it? The 1940s, 1944
Whoa.
was the which is, I have to say, even older than me. Really, some ancient history.
Yeah.
So let's try and think
Yeah.
now about the plans.
Yeah.
What should Black be trying to do?
Black's problem maybe is to improve his improve her pieces
Yeah, on the queen side.
Yes,
on the queen side. This is it. So
because of the bishop.
yeah, the Catalan bishop on g2, which is exerting this
Yeah.
strong pressure on the diagonal.
So this bishop is
yeah.
worse.
Yeah, so it looks to me there are a number of moves have been played here, but there are two, let's say, main moves.
Yeah. Here is two choices.
Yeah, and there is the typical response, which is to play in a very direct way knight c6, which has actually been played.
Oh,
this
yeah.
is the main move, and if we can just go back, just put in a variation.
Yes.
Knight d5 instead is another possibility, which is sort of blocking the diagonal just for the moment,
Yeah.
and preparing knight c6. You
Yeah,
know,
maybe.
preparing to bring out the pieces
Yes.
with knight c6.
So I think both the two moves is mean to block the diagonal.
Well, one of them is not exactly blocking the diagonal. Knight c6 is a
The exchange.
it's a tactical, let's say, breaking of the pressure. I would say. So, what is going to happen after knight c6? Well, there are different choices, and
I think
let's have a look at the most, let's say, the most direct possibility. Knight takes c6. Okay,
Okay.
let's have a look at this. Let's try and understand
yes.
what is happening in the position. So let's say pawn takes, bishop takes
And
c6,
must be this.
rook b8,
Yeah.
and now we see a position where Black has these two isolated pawns
Yes.
on the queen side,
Yeah.
the A pawn and the C pawn.
Yes.
However, and which is normally a bad thing. However, Black has activity here. It has the
Yeah,
rook,
maybe here.
the rook on the open B file, as you point out,
Yes.
and also can easily let's
Move his bishop.
move the bishop. Yeah, the
Yeah.
bishop can come to A6, or it can even come to B7
Yes.
just to exchange.
Yes.
So probably this is you know, this is okay for Black. It looks playable for Black.
So I think in this position, Black just give back the pawn and have a easy position.
That is the idea. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That is definitely the
idea
yeah,
for this
yeah.
move.
I must say you're doing very well, considering that you were hoping to do this commentary in Chinese. You're doing very, very well indeed. So
Thank you. Thank you.
keep going.
I will do my best. Okay. So here, maybe white will not to capture the knight.
Well, there is another move which was played last year, which is actually quite interesting. And I even saw this game.
Oh.
Bishop takes c6.
Bishop takes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And after b takes c6, and this is played by Anish Giri,
Giri.
very, very strong player,
Yes.
and from the Netherlands. And here he played bishop so he took, and then bishop,
In that game.
yeah,
Yes.
e3. So we've kind of switched.
Oh yes. So,
We don't have the, yeah.
yeah. Okay.
So bishop e3, that
with
it gives a different little problem for black to solve.
Yes. So he white gives his bishop, but he keep his knight.
Yeah,
Important
yeah,
knight.
yeah, and the knight there, of course, is forking two pawns, the both c pawns.
Yes.
So that poses some other little problems actually for
And
for
then-
black, how to deal with that.
Yes. And then white exchange the black bishop and then
Yes,
keep
that's-
the bad bishop in the board. On the board.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely, yeah, yeah. So that's and one thing which is people often speak about, which they speak about the bishop pair.
Yeah, bishop pair.
Pair.
Yes.
So when your opponent
Mhm.
has the bishop pair, it is very often a very good idea to exchange off one of the bishops.
Yes,
so
yes.
and leave them with bishop and knight against your two knights, because the bishops, they work very, very well together in harmony.
Yes.
So this is a that would be a typical strategy. So this is a moment of thought.
Yes.
It is a crossroads
Yes.
for Goryachkina. What to do.
Yeah. I think she is just thinking her preparation.
Yeah,
maybe.
yeah, and also, as you said, what has the opponent
Oh, yes.
prepared?
Yes.
That is very
Very
good.
important thing.
Yeah, yeah. What things would be, what is her thinking? Now clearly, the element of surprise in this game belongs to Wenjun, Zhu Wenjun.
Yes.
She gave her a little surprise
Yes.
in the opening, and although the White's position is not bad at all, in fact, probably, I would, if I were playing the game,
Yeah.
I would prefer to be white here. Yeah,
Yes.
not that, but there is a danger that the black may just equalize very easily. You know,
Yes. Yes.
that is actually, I think, one of the big problems here, that you play some theoretical moves, and then the opponent just goes bang, 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 draw agreed, and then she's playing white in the next game, you know, and that would be a very, let's say, satisfactory start for Ju in the first game, you know. She doesn't have to win all the games, you know. I mean, starting with a draw when you're black is a very good thing to do. Steady draw, steady draw.
So here, Alexander is long thinking.
Yeah, yeah.
And white's another choice is maybe can capture the pawn.
Yeah, that is another possibility. Although it looks the most modest way of playing. Yes, it's possible to do that, knight takes c4, but it's not. It doesn't put pressure on the position. So I think if knight c4, something like bishop d7 is possible.
Yeah.
Could even play. Or you could even play some other moves. Even knight d5 is possible, but bishop d7 looks okay.
Yes, and this move is not broken black's pawn structure.
No. So this is I think it's the most modest way to play. It's not so challenging.
Yes.
Although it has been played in.
Maybe in the past.
No, it has. Yeah, it's been played in a number of games. So in fact, this is the old move.
Yes, maybe it's the old move.
The old moves are not always bad moves, you know. They're sometimes quite okay.
Yes, because we are all improved.
Yeah. And sometimes it's good to go back to these old variations because people have forgotten how to play.
Yes.
You know, they know all the latest games, and either they have forgotten or maybe they didn't even know really the old stuff. They don't bother with it because they say, this is ancient history. It's nobody plays this anymore. So sometimes these sort of little quiet moves, not topical moves, are you know, they can be dangerous.
Yes.
So it has been played, and it's been played not even that long ago. By players like Inakiev.
He played, or she played.
She played what?
Yeah, she played.
Bishop takes. So this is the sort of Giri, the Giri approach.
And take it back.
Anish Giri is my greatest fan. He studies all my games and listens to it. I hope he's watching.
Yes. So he becomes so strong. Okay.
No.
Oh, bishop e3.
Yeah. So.
Yes. And we saw that Nihua had played this move too. In last year.
All right, against Tabatabai, the Iranian player, who has been very much in the news actually, because he played against an Israeli player, which politically was something very unusual. The Iranians don't. They are not supposed to play against Israeli players. I think that's wrong.
Yeah.
I think it's wrong. You know, when we play chess, we should not be thinking about politics. We should be thinking about chess.
Okay.
Um,
I know him. I saw him in a tournament. He always wear a black coat maybe.
Jacket? No, maybe you're
Jacket.
confusing him with Parham Magsodlu.
Oh maybe.
Yeah, no. Parham Magsodlu. He always wears this black. He has a special
Black.
jacket. Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
Maybe I confused him.
Yeah, I think you have actually.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they were both playing. They both played this tournament in Spain, and they both played against one Israeli player.
Yeah.
So yeah. So
So in this position, should black to exchange?
I don't think so,
Bishop?
because that makes the development
Yeah.
very
Oh yeah.
easy.
If black
However,
exchange-
you can do it after bishop takes e3, knight takes e3, maybe c3.
C3.
Yeah, I think you have to try and liquidate. You have to try and remove some of
And
these
maybe
weak.
like that.
Maybe like this, or maybe even bishop a6 or c5, c5 maybe, c5.
C5.
It looks not there, c5. Yeah,
Yeah. Maybe like that.
something like that. It looks playable. It
No,
looks
but the rook can go there, and then the
bishop a6.
the basics. Can we block the bishop or no?
You can. It looks a little bit.
Equal?
Well, it looks, maybe it looks easier for white to play, but black should be fine actually.
Yeah.
It should be.
So should black exchange the bishop?
Well, it's a good question. It's a very good question.
Yeah.
So there are some very funny moves here, because I see that bishop b6 is by far the most common
Yeah.
move.
And
Um,
Jude played bishop b6.
She's played bishop
Yeah,
b6.
she's
Yeah,
played.
yeah. So this has been seen. Okay. And this is again following this Giri Yakovenko
Yeah.
game.
And this move I think is easy to understand because black want to white to exchange
Of
pawn,
course,
and
of
then
course.
the pawn structure will be improved.
That's right.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. It's also been played by some other strong, almost all the players who played this variation are strong players with white. It's not played by patzers or by weak players
Yeah.
at all.
All very
So
strong.
guys like Adiban have played this, and Ponomaryov and Malakhov, and all good players actually.
Yeah,
So
yes.
this is a sort of strong grandmasters opening.
Yes. So I believe them all analyzes this variation very deep.
I'm sure.
Yeah.
I'm sure. Yeah. Do we? Let me just check the time. I mean, there's nothing very significant, but it looks very much like Ju is she's in a preparation for
Yeah.
sure.
Yes.
I'm sure she's analyzed many more moves
Yes.
than this.
She played very fast.
Yeah, Yeah.
only used maybe 4 minutes or 5 minutes.
Yeah, well, we're playing with increments, so she's taken a little more time
Yeah.
than that, but she hasn't used much time at all.
Mm-hmm. So maybe the Alexander not um, not prepared. I think
Well,
maybe,
I think she.
or maybe
I mean, you say not prepared. Um, I think she is not specifically prepared for this game, but
Mhm.
obviously she is familiar with the position because she has reached a, let's say, a popular or a topical. It's topical because it's many recent games
Mhm.
in this line. So she knows what she's doing. So she is prepared in a way, but has she analyzed this in detail? Has
Oh,
she?
yeah.
Yeah, I don't think she has. Okay, so now she's played Bishop B6 again. It's the the main move.
Yes.
So the recapture.
So I think maybe the Ju played the bishop e7 is a little surprised.
Yeah.
So Alexander yes maybe cannot remember the detail very well.
Well, yeah,
Yeah.
I'm sure she's. Yeah, uh, but it's also possible that she, you know, she's looked at this, but hasn't really studied it in great detail. You know,
Yeah.
she maybe has seen something and she's decided, okay, I'll play this. But I think sometimes people they overestimate preparation.
Yeah.
I mean, sometimes when people they see a game and they say, "Oh, this must be preparation. This must be preparation," and it's not always. I mean,
Yeah.
but quite often it's people they're there, they're thinking, and they try something
Yeah.
at the board, and it's and not. I know this because I played a world championship match myself, and
Yeah.
you would see, oh yes, preparation, and in fact, sometimes I had absolutely no idea what I'm doing. I just try a move
Okay.
over the board,
Yeah.
and then people say, oh yes, obviously prepared at home,
Yeah.
and it's rubbish. So knight takes c6 is actually probably the move.
It's a new idea.
Well, it is a new it's a new move actually. You're right.
Yes.
Knight c3 has been played, but I must say I'm not very impressed with this move. I would play here bishop b7.
Yeah. So so the bishop
Yeah,
came out
yeah, very
quickly.
yeah, and the question is why should white be better in this position? I don't really see why white should be better at all.
Yeah.
That's my view. So what's knight b4 or so? So after
Actually, in this position, I think if change which pawn to capture, maybe the c4 is
Yeah.
better.
well, I think normally that would be the case. Yes, that you would want to do that. So I yeah, knight c4 puts more pressure on the
Yeah.
on the position. So I would prefer that to knight takes c6. But look, there is one clear advantage to playing knight takes c6,
Yeah.
and you can see by looking at the screen. she stopped.
Oh yeah. Yeah. So
She,
it's
you know, she stopped moving. So objectively, um,
useful.
objectively, maybe it's not the best move, but now, at least after how long have they been playing for 40 minutes or something like that?
Yeah.
This is the first time that Ju is thinking.
Yeah.
So I don't particularly like knight c6. I don't. It wouldn't be my choice to play this move. Wouldn't be my choice at all. But it has that advantage. She's now no longer playing against the engine. She's playing against her opponent.
Yes.
So now it's just the two of them fighting it out from this position.
So maybe it's a good choice.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, because I think we sometimes we get too excited about the engine evaluations. We see this is plus 0.2 of an advantage, and this is equal, so therefore plus 0.2. But actually, if your opponent has prepared everything, then you may be better just going for where it's completely equal.
Yes.
So this is okay. So she's played bishop b7.
Yes.
That's the most natural move.
Yes.
We spoke earlier about the Catalan bishop, on g2. You'll draw a nice arrow on the diagonal, and now Black has the bishop on this open diagonal.
Yes. So maybe White should make like f3 and e4 to block this diagonal.
Yeah. This is a typical idea. It's a good idea, but I mean, for the moment, White has to decide, what to do with the knight, and I would put it on b4, because the knight can't be evicted from that square. I mean, Black can exchange it with knight d5, but at least it can't be attacked by pawns when you put the knight there.
Oh yeah.
So, it doesn't look very exciting, because Black. Let's have a look at Black's position. Let's think about the Black position systematically. Black, as we say, has a bishop on a good diagonal.
Yes.
A rook on a8 is exerting pressure down the a file.
Yes. And maybe
the other rook is coming probably to d8, where it can come down the open d file.
Yes.
The knight on yes, you're drawing beautiful lines, very impressive. So lots of nice arrows there, and the knight on f6 is not bad either. So in fact, there is no
problem.
Special reason why Black should be worse in this. The only thing is, maybe there is a little bit of a Black square weakness. Little bit.
Okay.
Yeah. So White has these two, let's say, mini outposts for the knights, c3 and b4.
Yeah.
where the knights cannot be disturbed. So that could be a little bit of a grip on the position. But in general, my feeling is
Yes.
black should be,
Okay.
you know, black should be fine here.
Yeah.
That's my view. On
I think white maybe should play like knight c3 and then move his rook
not
out.
to D1. Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely,
But,
absolutely.
but then they will exchange pieces and the game will go to equal.
Well, not necessarily, because potentially,
Hmm.
the black queen side could be weak. You know,
Okay.
because if we can imagine a situation, so I'm just looking, let's say, completely theoretically. Let me make a few very stupid moves here in this position. So rook over. I'm not going to make the most aggressive, but let's say I do something like this, and I here I'll follow your recommendation
Okay.
of f3,
Okay.
and let us suppose that black plays in a very primitive way and tries to
You exchange the two rook.
exchange. This, you know, this end game could be a little bit better for whites, because
The
actually,
two pawns.
actually, if the king, you know, can come into, sorry,
Maybe
you
e4
know,
and go there.
yeah, and the king comes this way, exactly.
And
Then
this two pawn is
yeah, then
maybe
it's just some very, very small weaknesses. So this is a long variation. It's not a forced
it's a
variation.
it's an image.
Yeah, it is a sample variation of what could happen if black is not very careful.
Yes.
You know,
Yes.
if black is just thinking, oh yeah, I'm fine. You know, I
Yeah.
make a few moves, I exchange off, blah blah blah, and then you suddenly find, oh,
Oh.
it's not quite so easy. You know,
Yeah.
now there is a little bit of pressure,
Yes.
and now I have to play some, you know, very precise, very accurate moves.
Yes.
So these things, it's possible to drift into a bad position if you're not very, very careful. You know,
Yeah,
if you're thinking,
Mhm.
yeah, okay,
I can
I mean,
understand.
I am sure that she knows, let's say, objectively,
Yes.
the evaluation is equal. But an objective evaluation is irrelevant, because they're playing a practical
Yeah.
game. So
Yeah.
let's go back to the
Yes. And here played
night before.
Knight b4,
So
yes.
that is the current position.
yes. And now Ju is thinking. Yes.
Yeah.
As I know, Ju always play game very sold, so I think she will be careful.
Yeah, no, she is a very thoughtful player.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
that's she's an excellent player.
Mhm.
I have played her myself.
Really?
Yes,
And
yeah.
you won?
Good. No. She beat me in New Zealand. Actually, she won this tournament in New
Oh.
Zealand a few years ago, and that was the only game I lost to her. So she was playing very well in that
Yeah.
event, and we played in another television
Oh, yeah.
tournament as well, and that was a draw. That was,
Oh, yes.
if I remember correctly. Goryachkin, I don't
Play
know
with
at
she.
all.
Yes.
So we should just we should mention, yeah, the ages of the players.
Yeah.
So Zhu Wenjun is, how old is she? She is 28. 28.
Yeah.
So she's really sort of like a peak age really for a chess player. A chess player with some experience, with a lot of experience actually. By 28 is so should be really at the top of her game.
Yes.
And Goryachkina, on the other hand, she is
Very young.
very young,
Yeah.
a spring chicken. She is. That's she's just 21 years old. So she, whatever the outcome of this this match, win, lose, she is going to be around right at the top of women's chess for some years to come.
Yes.
She made a fantastic impression in the candidates tournament, which she won to get here.
And I searched both of them as games. Goryachkina yes played a lot of games. I remember that Drew played like 1,500 games, and Goryachkina played 1,400 games. So it's very close.
Yeah. So she's extremely active.
Yeah, but Drew is already 7 years older than her.
Yeah. That's a substantial difference.
But their games is very near, very close.
Yeah. The total number of games.
Yeah,
yes. Yeah. That's interesting. Yeah. It's funny because the different players over the years have had different approaches on how much chess should they play.
Yeah.
And guys like the great Russian patriarch Mikhail Botvinnik, he played not very much.
Not very much.
No, not very much. And for him, the study, the preparation, that was where his work went into chess. Whereas other people, I think now people prefer to play more chess because it's you get the practice, and a lot of chess is about tactics. It's about calculation.
Yes.
And so really your calculation, your tactical ability is improved by regular playing.
Yes.
Yeah. And studying the game at home is not the same as sitting down at the board, under the hot lights. They are there, and I was actually sitting on those chairs 2 days ago. I was on the table there, sitting on those chairs, and you're there, and it's particularly difficult for Goryachkina because this is her first World Championship match, so there is extra tension, extra pressure, when the first.
So it's different feeling.
Yeah. So I think this may be a good time, whilst there is some thinking going on here. We may take a short break of a few minutes, and we will be back with you before too long. Here we are in Shanghai for the first half, the first game indeed, of the 2020 Women's World
Yeah.
Championship match, and we'll be back with you shortly.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good. Very good. You're good. You're good. You're very professional. Excellent. It's very, you know, I'm impressed. You're very good. You're very good. I think you're going to have a class. You're very good.
所以现在第15步你看在想，就是前面军文军第15步想了半天，然后走了一步，然后现在到他想，军文军大概想了要蛮久了，想了要接近20分钟，然后现在到这个小姑娘就突谱了，就是之前都是有迹可循的，有谱招的，然后他现在突谱了，突谱了以后就。对，就在想，不过这个棋太平稳了，感觉和棋的概率比较高。所以这大哥又过来干嘛了？张克来。Yeah. And they are thinking. And I I move some.
Yeah. No, it's good. It's good.
And if capture and e takes d5 is not good.
E3.
Not e3. E3 not e3.
Knight C3.
Knight e3 and knight maybe knight c2 or what?
Yes. Because then you can blockade.
Yes.
That's interesting.
Yeah, so if capture maybe should take it by bishop.
But I think white is slightly better.
Really?
Yeah. Okay, well, come on. Okay, can we start?
我们可以开始了。开始的话就前面你还要放片段吗？还是直接开始？
Yeah.
If we see our in the screen this.
So we'll have the little 10 seconds. Yeah, we're ready. We're ready.
Yeah. Hello, everybody. Welcome back.
So, yes, indeed, welcome back at this interesting little moment in the game where Ju Wenjun has just had to make her first, let's say, real choice, actually, during the game. And she's gone for a simplifying option. She's trying to exchange the knight. So I don't know whether we can get the screen up.
Yeah.
There we are.
Yes.
So, just actually one more move since the break, and that is knight d5. And this is interesting because this is a very committal move, actually. Now, you have been analysing this a little bit,
Yes.
and tell us what you think. For me, the most obvious move is knight takes d5.
Yeah. So I think if
Which she's now played.
yes.
Okay.
At first, I think if black can take it by the pawn, because then maybe the pawn has be strong.
Yeah. If black gets to play d4, black has a fantastic position here.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Uh,
But here, white has maybe knight e3.
and this is a slightly unusual move, isn't it? You know.
Yeah.
So, what you want to do with this move is to blockade on the d4 square.
Yeah, the knight won't go to c2 and then block at the d4 square.
Yeah, or even to f5 and to blockade. It depends. Either of those to blockade. And the point about knight e3 is it holds up the advance of the pawns.
Yes.
So if black plays now, let's say b5.
b5, maybe I just
Maybe you
come
could,
back.
maybe you could, yeah, you can, or even rook d1 can be considered first.
Here.
Yeah,
Yes, maybe.
yeah, rook d8 and then knight c2, for example. So rook d8, if we can just continue there. And yeah, rook d8, rook f d8, and now knight c2.
Yes.
And the knight is blockading actually two important squares,
Yes.
d4 and b4.
And then the bishop will be.
Yeah, and then suddenly black has made her bishop bad. The bad bishop, for those of you who don't know, is a bad bishop that is restricted, inhibited by its own pawns. So in particular, the pawn on d5 is restricting the movements, or the scope of that bishop on b7. So this position, if it were reached, it would be definitely favourable for white.
Yes.
Definitely, white is pressurizing. I mean, it would be a long, long way from being a winning position.
Yeah.
But black could be in for,
Yes.
over a long time.
Yes.
Now, she hasn't done this. She has played in a more, let's say, positional style, in that, you see, taking with the pawn was a dynamic